Eric here, product specialist for TOA Electronics, and your host to the podcast Sound Supply, releasing every single week. That's on Monday evenings, giving you guys the most up-to-date information on commercial AV. You can find us on YouTube, Anchor, LinkedIn, and even our Facebook page. Excuse me, guys. Check us out. Thank you for attending. Stay tuned. We're about to get started. All right, guys, good afternoon and welcome to our special webinar today as we review our brand new flagship product for 2021, coming to InfoComm, coming to the show floor. That's right, our CS-761 high-powered, full-range, two-way horn, designed with dual purpose in mind, something new from TOA, with speech and with high-fidelity music. So a great one-stop shop for a dual purpose type design in mind. And we're going to do the usual here. We're going to hear from two of our internal guys. We have Ian here, we have Jim here, who are going to discuss the use cases, advantages, and a little bit of the specifications on this brand new product. And this is going to be an introduction to this guy. We're really excited about it, and we'll try to get as deep as we can on it. All right, guys, if you don't know me, my name is Eric Huber. I'm a product specialist here at TOA Electronics. Been here for 2 years. Been working with a great team. I also do the podcast every single week. That's every Monday at 8:30 or 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern time that we release on all of our social media channels. Those are great little 10-minute conversations that I have with myself or sometimes with another person on the outside in the industry relating to anything current or relative that can help you guys succeed out there. All right, so we'll hear from our panelists who are going to be Jim and Ian. We'll discuss as openly as we can, and then we have a little change up at the end of this, hopefully to get you guys acquainted with a member of our team who will be at InfoComm this year. Okay, guys, a couple things that, oh, by the way, guys, Ian will be there this year, as well as Jonathan. So we have two reps that are going to be on the show floor. And Ian's with us today, obviously, as well. Okay, so why is the flagship product, or what is the flagship product for the show this year? That's our CS-761. We're going to be discussing that and getting into it. We started last month's webinar reviewing a quote from Avixa, and this is regarding InfoComm and the AV, that AV experiences start with insightful designs. And this is where InfoComm 2021 is actually shifting their mindset to. And it's going to be offering you guys a variety of perspectives to enhance your design and integration toolbox. So this could be, ways you meet with your clients, tools that you design with, and helpful insight from manufacturers. The list goes on and on. So a good starting point for this discussion, mainly being our CS-761 music horn or dual purpose horn, is design. And the product's geared towards applications. The first thing that comes to mind when I think of a dual purpose type horn would be a sporting event, an outdoor type facility that needs music as well as speech, could be for announcements, play by play, and then you're cranking some high end audio in between that. Perfect. Also, hybrid type environments, could be a multi-purpose facility, outdoor field. It could be a lot of different things. Let's bring in Ian to start this discussion first. Before I bring in, let's just say hi to Jim, so Jim could show himself. Jim, how you doing?
Hey, how you doing, Eric? Thanks for letting me join in today.
You got it, man. And Ian, how you doing?
Doing great, guys. Looking forward to InfoComm coming up here. Just another week or so.
I think we're a week out, yeah. Just like that, right? Where did the year go? All right, Ian, where does the CS-761 come into conversation when you're working on a systems design? How does it come up? How do you recommend it? Why would you recommend the unit? Can you walk us through, maybe if you can give us, I know obviously the product isn't in market yet, but maybe we can reenact a design process or an application and a situation where you would actually recommend this product.
Yeah, there are several situations where a product like the new 761 comes in handy. It's what we kind of refer to as a horn speaker. So it's not purely a horn, but it's got a very high sensitivity. Therefore, it can really throw sound a really nice distance. And at the same time, give a more pleasant overall sound. This can actually even support some musical type of applications. So it can be used where you might use a speaker. And by combining, the benefits of both a horn and a speaker into a unit, you start to cross over between a few different applications. Also, this product has taken on a very new look. It sort of shares a direction that you've probably seen us going, starting back with the F1000, F1300, and F2000 speakers that have got a little bit more of a, rather than just a straight square or a rectangle, you get a little bit more of a polygon shape to it, maybe some triangular edges. So it's got a much more nice, pleasant, modern look to it. And coming in both black and white, it gives us the opportunity for a few different user cases where either the darker or the lighter tone to the speaker is going to come in handy. It's also not really a very large speaker. You're talking about something approximately 15-inch by 15-inch. Comes with a yoke mount, and then there's some additional optional mounting accessories, for instance, a pole mount. So whether it's indoor or outdoor, a more modern, pleasant look to it, and something that's going to give you more power, but still give you the ability to get a product that sounds more like a traditional speaker. It's going to cover a lot of different applications for us.
Very cool, Ian. And to my note, and Jim, this will segue into what you're going to be discussing, but I believe it is IP66 rated. So splash proof, dust proof, can be used indoors, can be used outdoors, very flexible to that. But Jim, let's bring you in here. Let's talk about specifications, some of the key specs that would go into a design like this or a type of application. You can talk watts, you can talk about distribution, whatever you'd like. But the key technical specs that would often be considered when designing with this product in mind.
Sure. So this new product was re-engineered from our existing line to give like Ian had mentioned before, a new look, a new feel, a little bit more up-to-date, modern look. And some of the key things on here is, sensitivity has been improved over our highest power CS speaker of the past by about 2 dB. We figure 3 dB a half power point. So, we're starting to approach, a nice jump up from a sensitivity point of view. Not to mention this speaker is twice the power of all of our previous CS speakers. So we can really drive home, audio to whatever venue we set this up in. Now, this is a, coaxially built type of device. So it has a larger woofer than our previous units, and the tweeter is also larger as well. I personally listened to this speaker in a couple of indoor settings, and the sound quality has been quite good out of this speaker compared to many other things that I've listened to of similar type, and the throw on it is quite good. So if you're outdoors, you're trying to get that push to go to various areas in different types of venues, whether it be completely open or whether it be under eaves, sort of a covered area, that type of thing. So this speaker has a very good sound quality as opposed to a regular horn from let's say the conventional sense. Kind of a limited frequency response on a regular horn. This has a much wider frequency response. It sounds quite good, not to mention that it can throw the music. So remember, a regular speaker, the throw capability from a box speaker or a standard speaker is very limited. But as soon as you get into a horn design, or what we call here a speaker horn, kind of a combo, now we can get the speaker to push out that audio, and we can use it for multiple venues. So this way, if we want to do announcements, that's fine. But if we also want to play music, which is so much in demand as of late, multiple purpose speaker, this speaker really covers the gambit for that type of application. And it has a very large range of temperature that it can sit in, from say about 14 degrees to over 120 degrees. So it can withstand quite a range. And as you had mentioned before, it's IP66 rated. So, it can cover a lot of different specification requirements. So truly, I think this speaker is going to do quite well in quite a few different venues as we go forward.
Thank you, Jim. Well said. Well said. Yeah, it definitely fills a gap that we had in our product lineup very well. It's extremely flexible. I also heard it with Jim here in the office, and it sounds fantastic. It's very clear and can be thrown very, very far. I noticed that. And then also, like Ian said, the modern design. We're focusing on the aesthetics of our products a lot more than what we had done in the past. And it's much more relatable, much more cleaner, much more modern, and minimal at the same time, but really looks good in a lot of different environments. And we're very excited about that route that we're taking down the aesthetic line there. All right, Ian, back to you. Let's get into the hybrid. You can call it the hybrid work model. We can call it hybrid type spaces, these physical spaces that are used for multi-purpose. We got some people returning to work, and some are obviously working remotely. Industries vary. I imagine that maybe in a new workspace with both indoor and outdoor spaces, designing, around employee wellness being up in the forefront, essentially. How can something like this, like the CS-761, be essential in an installation? Can you talk about some of the main reasons end users would request this horn in their systems designs, or in future designs, or in addition to what they currently have? Anything you could think of?
Well, certainly the fact that it is indoor or outdoor is going to play into exactly what you're mentioning there.
Right.
So of course we can carry our systems designs from that indoor space to the outdoor space. Whether or not this would be the correct speaker for the indoor application versus the outdoor is going to be really dependent on what the room looks like. Jim's really great with specifications, and we look at things like, for instance, the directivity angle, right? It's a 90-degree throw versus our traditional F-series speakers that are more like 110 or 120 degrees. So the ability to place this speaker into a corner and cover that 90-degree angle really cleanly, especially in a very echoic room where you might have a lot of sound bouncing. Today's minimalist design in a lot of spaces means a concrete floor, bare walls, very little furniture. Clap your hand in a room like that, you're going to get a lot of reverb through that room. So the ability to point and direct a speaker to an area without bouncing off of ceilings and bouncing off of floors is going to become really, really handy. And the fact that this is that 90-degree horizontal is going to really, really work in our favor for that. Of course, this is really for here in the US, a 70-volt speaker, right? So as opposed to an 8-ohm speaker, we're going to be talking about something tying into one of our amplifiers via 70-volt. Very easy to daisy chain those types of speakers. Of course, our F-series speakers can also be 70-volt as well as low impedance. So it's quite easy for us to daisy chain from our indoor speakers to our outdoor speakers, utilizing that 70-volt connectivity. It makes it very easy to calculate the number of speakers that we can deploy based on a particular amplifier. And of course, it makes it very easy to tie it into a zone type of a system where if there's not just background music, but also paging, we can then choose what zone we want paging going on to. So, we might have F-series speakers indoors tied into the same new CS-series speakers that might be deployed out in the warehouse area, and then just choose that zone appropriately. But the nice factor here again is that it doesn't just look like a traditional horn any longer, whether that be our rectangular shape or round traditional shape. You've now got a very new modern take on what a horn looks like. And then a lot of folks do want to pipe background music into those typical horn locations. You're going to get a much better sound out of the solution now. So overall, this is just going to be a really nice tool to provide all the flexibility we're already known for, but in a more modern take with an overall just a nicer sound.
Excellent, excellent. Jim, anything you want to follow up there with?
Yeah, sure. A couple of points. We didn't mention that this horn is going to be offered in 2 colors as well. So we're going to have a white and a black. So that can be very useful in certain applications for blending. Yep. And another thing I wanted to bring up is, we do warehousing a lot of times. So we have to look at, very large spaces, and we figure, on an average, you're looking at speakers being placed every, 50-foot squares type of thing based on existing products. So now this new product being more efficient, being twice the power, and have the throw distance. So now we can also reduce the number of speakers in a lot of applications to warehousing, making it more economical for a particular design and more palatable to the bottom line to a potential customer. So it has a lot of advantages there. And of course, as all 70-volt speakers that we have in this lineup have multiple taps. So it's not that you have to tap them up to 60, but it has that capability and, affords us the chance to use less speakers in a given area. Of course, depending on, the particular design needed. But, if we look at it from a general perspective, we can populate less speakers and do the same job.
Excellent. Excellent. All right, guys, we're going to try something new. We're going to go into our quick fire or rapid fire Q&A. But before we get into that, once again, guys, Ian will be there along with Jonathan at InfoComm, along with the CS-761 that we're excited about. But without further ado, let's get into these quick fire questions for both you guys. We'll start off with Ian. 35 seconds each, maximum, to answer these. Super easy, generic. And we'll begin with question 1 here. This one is more towards Ian because Jim will not be at InfoComm. So this is, Jim, you can slide away from this one. But Ian, here we go. Number 1, what are 3 things that those attending InfoComm should be paying attention to? This could be trends, product development, new products, anything. 3 things for those that are attending InfoComm that should be paying attention to? Go ahead.
And we're not talking about necessarily the choices of restaurants available through Orlando.
We could.
We're okay. Well, there, I'll use that as number one. Okay, Orlando, be ready for your choice of great restaurants while you're visiting. Some of the newest trends, and we've talked about this on a number of our prior webinars.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be the plethora of IP-enabled products that are out there. That's number one, I would say. When it comes to our particular line, I think you'll see not only our CS-761, you'll also see our TS-900 series products there as well. I'm not sure whether we'll have F-series speakers on display, but if we do, I think what you'll begin to see is just the design trend that we're moving forward with in this more modern take for an approach to products that maybe, a square box and a gooseneck microphone in a conferencing microphone system would have been fine in the past. We've now developed this nice pyramid shape gooseneck base for our conferencing systems, with all the buttons cleanly integrated in, the sensors cleanly integrated in, the lights showing the mode that the microphone is operating in. Carry that over to the CS-761, and that's this new speaker shape, kind of following along, like I say, on the F-series speakers. So the design trends, I think you'll see across not just TOA, probably some other lines as well. But I do think you're going to find TOA taking the lead position in not just developing product for the marketplace, but also having the design element behind it.
Yeah, excellent.
That was only two things, but I think that's where I start off with.
Definitely covered it. Jim, over to you. 35 seconds.
For InfoComm, I thought you said
no. New question.
Oh, okay.
What are the three most important features of our CS-761 to you?
To me, I think the new higher power level gives us great capability for some new designs, so that we don't have to, as I said before, populate with as many speakers in a given area. That's number one. Now that we also offer dual color, because we've had that question asked of us before, and we've traditionally been white only. So now we do have white and black as standard product, although paintable, and it's another level of work that has to be done. So this way, out of the box, you get what you need. And then, of course, just the product performance with the increased sensitivity and sound quality versus throw. So for dual music and speech applications, it's going to be a great product to place in a lot of different applications. I think schools will love it.
Excellent. And Jim, real quick, it's a two-way unit, right? So coaxial design,
that's
dual
correct.
driver. Okay.
Yeah, that's correct.
Very nice. Ian, anything you want to add to that?
Well, I mentioned the throw ratio. That's going to be very important because it's going to help quite a bit with placement. The fact that we're using a traditional yoke mount provides a lot of flexibility, whether you're doing ceiling mounting or wall mounting. And then the fact that we've got a pole mount option for outdoor applications.
Yes.
It makes it really useful. So, it's one thing to consider sound quality and power, but you've got to be able to actually fit this unit into a space. So I tend to be one of those folks that looks at the directivity and the mounting options as well.
Excellent. All right, question 3 for both you guys. Last question, 35 seconds. What is one thing that you are each excited about that TOA is currently working on? And we don't have to spill the beans here, but something that you might see coming down the pipe. Maybe it could be a direction to a new market. Maybe it could be that design thing that you mentioned, Ian. But yeah, anything you guys are excited about, one thing that we're currently working on behind the scenes that you could at least briefly share with our contestants here, or viewers.
Well, from my perspective, I don't get a lot of insight into newer products before they're released. I believe it was a prior webinar where Dan Shore basically let me know that he could tell me, but then he'd have to kill me. So I don't get too much of that. But I will say, if you look at recently released products, in particular in our A800 series, it's the trend toward higher wattage applications. So when you look at our package amplifiers in the past, 20 watt, 30 watt, 35 watt, 60 watt, right? That has really trended up to 120, 240, 480 watt applications. So from one package amplifier, the ability to cover a very, very large space is really a handy function. And it opens up, again, the number of applications you can put something like an A848D into. Got plenty of inputs, but with that sort of 480 watt power output at a low, low distortion level, having that kind of power is really, really useful.
Very nice. Jim?
I think for my perspective, as we march forward, our basic concept is to make access an important point. So as Ian touched on our 800 series, we do have Ethernet connection there. So for a remote application, when someone might call us and say, I can't get it to do this, or I see it doing whatever, well, we can dial into that box now and see what the status is, because the product's been designed with a status page, so we know what's going on. And then of course we can look around at settings, etc. We like this new type of concept because it makes it easier for us from support to get systems up and running, because our systems of course can be simple, but they could also be a complicated system. And as I say to many customers that call in, I might have to ask you over 50 questions just to be able to build a concept of what you have there. We're not on site. We need to know a lot of specifications. This is sort of like a picture, answers a 1,000 questions for you. So it's really a good update to our equipment. And also with some of our new product coming, we're going to be adding some features, let's say, to our IP horn access, so that we can do a more WAN acceptable type of application. So there's some new updates coming there to our already well-received IP horn.
Jimmy beat me to it. The idea of us going towards the network realm and really having connectivity over an entire system. You could be merging multiple technologies, whether that be security, audio, video, whatever that might be, over network, maybe a central point of command. I see something in the future where you can access literally anything from anywhere in the world and be able to manage and maintain it very effectively that way. So that's very exciting. And I do see the industry going in that route. And I do see us as a company going in that route as well. So I am excited about that. All right, guys, that sums it up. Thank you, Jim. Thank you, Ian. Much appreciated. Just to summarize, guys, can't wait to see you all at InfoComm. I will be there in spirit. Ian cannot wait to see you. So Ian will be there in person, along with Jonathan, right, Ian?
Yeah, Jonathan's going to be coming out as well. And I think we'll have a lot of great product on site to be able to show folks who are there in person.
Exactly. So Jonathan is internal sales representative from Texas. So he represents that area. So if you guys don't know him, he's also involved with large projects and systems designs. So he will be a good person to network with as well. If you guys don't know, our TOA VP or VIP, excuse me, registration code is TOA 480. Remember that. And I believe you could use that to get a friend in or a colleague in. So remember, it's TOA 480. We'll put it up on the screen if it hasn't been put up already. And also, we have moved. Our booth number has moved to booth 4444. That's 4044. 444, just 4 fours. Ian, are you aware of that? So we did move.
I was not aware of that, so I'm glad you let me know. Thank
Not
you.
yours?
4444.
No problem. All right, guys, let's get into your questions. And hopefully the chat is already filled with them, but let's get into those and we'll be right back for those. All righty. Guys, before we get into the questions, I do have with me here the legendary, oh, you can't see it because it's, oh, there it is, kind of, because of our little window. Anyways, I have a 761 here in black. Looks fantastic. I can lift it up, so it's not super heavy. I believe it's 15 by 12-ish dimensionally, something around that. Feels about, weight-wise, maybe 10 pounds. I could be off there, but the yoke is on there, like Ian mentioned multiple times. All right, guys, we have a couple questions here. Let me just run through this chat real quick, and let's get into it. Bear with me, guys. Ed Wolf, I don't know if you guys can see any of this or not, says, from our previous Community R series days, additional models, 12-inch various coverage patterns, etc., were needed for proper coverage patterns. He wants to know, are there any other brothers and sisters coming in this series lineup? I'm not aware of. I don't think there is at the moment, unless Jim or Ian can touch up on that.
I'm not aware of anything at the second, but the potential is there.
Yeah.
So we want to get this speaker out in the field first, so that all our prospective clients can hear it, use it, feel it, and then as their needs change, then we'll take those under advisement to morph the product into a sister brother type of application.
Excellent. We have an internal question here from Mr. Kevin Wilkin. First off, I want to give a shout out to the TOA customer service team for tuning in today. And Kevin says, what is the throw on the speaker at full power? Jim, can you answer that question?
Actually, I haven't plotted it yet, so
okay.
I have to do that.
Fair point.
So I would get back to you on a maximum distance on it.
If we follow what a lot of our other horns do, I think you'd be pretty comfortable in about that 40 to possibly 50-foot range.
Sure.
With the sensitivity that it's got, which is what 100 dB sensitivity.
It's 100 dB.
Pretty nice to get about
plus the power's up. So I think it'll actually go a little bit further in this case. I just haven't had a plot on it yet.
Right, because of 60 watts, that's correct.
Right.
So it could very well go further.
It's kind of a double, right? So we're up 2 dB plus we're up half power point,
right.
on the actual power itself.
Okay.
And Eric, in case you are, practicing your curls there, the unit should come in at about 16.5 pounds.
16 pounds. Kind of want to take off my background just to quickly show you guys it, and I will do that in just a moment. Do you guys know any dispersion specifications on the unit?
It was a 90 by 80, 90 on the horizontal and 80 on the vertical.
Correct.
Okay, another one by Kevin there. And then what hardware is included? Hang on, guys. Let me remove my background. There we go.
The yoke bracket is standard. There's an additional mounting bracket and a pole band. Unless I'm incorrect, I believe the yoke is included with it, though.
Yeah,
yes.
that U bracket is on it.
This guy right here.
Yeah.
And then it is sealed. It's sealed on the back there, as you guys can see. You would just get into it to do anything you need to do. I believe the tap is actually accessible right here via a slotted screwdriver. And the tap settings, if you guys don't know, like Ian and Jim said, it is a 70-volt unit. It goes up to 60 watts. You can tap it at 30, 15, and 7.5, aside from the 60.
And I believe it's 70 or 100 volt. Not that 100 volt gets used
yes,
frequently here in the US, but for international applications.
Yep.
Correct. Absolutely. But yeah, it's not 16 pounds. That's not bad at all. Jim and I heard it in the office here, and it sounds like it could throw pretty far. Jim, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I was very, very happy with the sound quality and the push that the speaker had. So
Yeah.
getting it in a bigger application, I want to play with it a little bit more, but it's a good sounding speaker.
Let me get to the Q&A box here. Rob asked the size. Rob, I think I answered that. If I didn't, let me know. Horn complement. Rob, can you clarify that question there? Rob says, what is the size of the speaker and horn complement? The actual drive?
Right. So it's a 6-inch cone type of woofer, and then there's a 1-inch tweeter.
Yeah. And it's coaxial, right, Jim? It sits
Correct.
in front of the actual
Yep.
driver itself. Yes. Okay. Let me just make sure I'm not missing anything else here. These are all great questions, guys. Much appreciated. Much appreciated. The brochure, yeah, we'll share. Shawna actually shared that in the chat. Check that out, guys. You can download it right there.
It is up on the TOA website. Specification page and brochure are accessible. Right in the search box, type in CS-761, and you'll see both units, white and black.
Okay. So we do have a product page up on our website?
We do, yes.
We do. Okay, very nice. Web link. And then Shawna just posted it. Perfect. There's the web link for you guys, in case you missed that. We do have, it also comes in white. I don't have the white one with me. This is the black version. Yeah, we're excited about it. We think it sounds fantastic. We definitely want to hear it in action, in the elements, in the outside elements, or maybe in a larger application. Obviously, we've tested it here. We think it sounds fantastic, and it really fills a gap to something we haven't had before. Being a two-way horn, being able to output high quality audio as well as speech, which we're known for with our horns. Anything? Let's see here. Shawna, no. Looks like a typo here. So right now we know, Ian, we know that you're going to be at InfoComm and Jonathan, correct?
Yes, that's correct. We'll be there. I believe the show is Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. We'll have plenty to show, not just the CS-761, right? We'll have Amio, we'll have the Nubio. So our IO series will be there, along with some listening centers. The CS-761 will be there. I think we'll have a couple of our F series speakers that will be showing as well. Certainly the new A800 line will be on display. You'll be able to pick those units up, check out the back panels, ask any questions about compatibility with 900 series modules. So there'll be plenty to review at the show. Absolutely.
And also we're going to have we'll have the white and black versions of the 761 at the show for you guys, so you can get a color differentiation. All right, guys. Anything else from? I don't see any other questions. Anything you think we missed, Jim Marian? Are we good?
I think we covered a good gambit on there.
We did for one speaker.
Yep.
All right, guys. Thanks again so much. Thanks for everybody that came into this webinar. Looks like we're sharing a registration link. Is that the 4080, Shawna? The code? Oh, there it is.
TOA 480.
Yeah, TOA 480. Check the chat there, guys. The registration link for you or your friends that are heading down there. Is that for virtual access too? Are they doing anything hybrid, Ian, or is it strictly in person?
I'll defer to Shawna. Maybe she knows.
Okay. Well, I think it could be both, but that's my assumption. But it's all good. No worries. Jim, you're good?
I am good. So
right,
I just
guys.
said in person on that.
In person on that. Excellent. All right, guys, if you have any additional questions, please give Jim, myself, or Ian a call. Shoot us an email. We'll be happy to answer those for you. And for those of you that are going to InfoComm, enjoy it. Enjoy Orlando. Enjoy the restaurants that I don't think Ian mentioned, but apparently they have great food down there.
Absolutely. Great food in Orlando.
Mangoes.
All right, guys, enjoy the rest of your week. Take care, and thanks for coming. If you guys have any questions, like I said, reach out to us. We'll be happy to help.